What's up? Happy Wednesday. Let me turn this off for a second. Okay, got some crazy news to go through. Moderna has some melanoma cancer vaccine that seems to have done really well. If it pulls back I'm going to get both commons and maybe some weekly calls. If it doesn't pull back, then I don't know what to do, but maybe I'll just slap some calls and call it a day. It's up 100% since that close. No one had this on their radar. Hell, if anything, this was an easy short and people were shorting this for months at this point in time. But I do think that this is going to go higher. I just don't know when, because when you have a crazy cure for a pretty well-known disease that's affecting millions of lives around the world, these generally tend to go higher. So I already have a position. I bought these last year, if anyone remembers, back in September. I started a position for Moderna, Oscar, and a couple other healthcare companies. They've been down because I bought them back in September, I think it was. And so I've been riding the wave up and down. I haven't sold any, so I still got a lot of Moderna commons and Oscar leaps and whatever else. So any pullback here, I'm just going to add to that position, and then I'll get some weekly calls whenever I see it come back down, either to 100 or maybe to 84 and 85, and we'll see where that ends up. But I'm liking how that chart is shaping up overall. With Timmy, myself, and Neek, and a couple others, we swung some DRAM calls. They're almost in the money. We got the 58 weeklies, I believe. So I'll probably sell most of them at open and just leave a couple runners and see where that goes. Let me just find that message because we bought them all together on the paid chat here. DRAM. Neek got these 60 calls for whatever reason, and then we did the 57s or 58s. I can't remember exactly which ones. For weeklies, they're going to be up 100%, so just take the win and move on. IWM, if you remember from the swing from yesterday or the call from yesterday, we ended up taking some 307, I think, or 305 calls for Monday. Let me just go double check. They were down 25% yesterday. They'll be up 100%-ish at open. So just take the win if you want. I would highly encourage you. 307 calls, yes. I would highly encourage you to just take the win and move on. There's been some bond news. So I think they're going to address the yields by doing something with the bond. I'm not a bond expert by any means, but that probably spells good for some of these high beta names. So I can see Micron going higher, companies like ABGO going higher. So let's see what happens here, but I do think you're setting up for a potential squeeze. We broke out of this downtrend. I was saying this yesterday in the chat, continuously, hey, if we close above 945, I think it was, or 940, I'm going to add to the position. Got some 1,100 calls for next Friday. There'll be a bit green at open. I'm not expecting much, but I want to sell most and then just leave a couple of runners. And I got the 1040 lottos for Friday. I don't know if they actually go anywhere, but if they are green, just take the win. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Tesla, I was hoping it would kind of sell off in that news, or not news, but overnight. But we've been just accumulating for the last couple of days at this point in time. My stop loss on the puts, I guess, is non-existent at this point in time. They were up 20% yesterday, but it is what it is. Didn't take the win. If it holds 336, 337, I might get some zero data calls. If it doesn't, then I think it's going to come back down to 330. Meta, any rally just shorted. I'm interested in the 540 puts right now. We'll see if it comes back to that level. If it starts rejecting, then I'm going to take those puts. If it doesn't, then I think you're going to go higher. And I'll watch a rejection at 548. And above that, they might just squeeze it all the way to 557, maybe even 600 at that point in time. So let's see what happens here. But I do think this is a topping out pattern, and it'll likely just continue rolling over as it has done since yesterday. So Meta puts are top watch for me. Tesla calls, we'll see what happens. And Moderna, if it comes back, I'll get some calls and maybe even some leads at this point in time. But I'm just going to take some comments and add to them. It's actually not a bad price compared to where we were, months ago at this point in time. The high was 82. You're well above it. And then back in the COVID era, you went all the way to $450, $500. So, even if you bought it at $100 or 120, whatever it is, the upside looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to take a position on calls, maybe some leaps, and then just get a shit ton of comments at this point in time. Micron, I'll see how it goes. Part of me wonders if this is a bull trap. Yesterday was a nice bear trap. I think a lot of people sung puts. We luckily did not. And now we're starting to break this downtrend, right? So I see this downtrend on the 4 hour, 15 minutes, kind of same story. Boom, down, down, down. You now finally made a higher high and higher low. So as long as it holds above 770, I think we're good for calls. If it doesn't, then I am worried that this is going to roll over. So maybe I'll take some weekly hedges. I don't know if I will, but it is something that's top of mind for me. And SPX is rejecting this upper ADR. So you can't even get above like Monday's high at this point down, or Monday's low rather. We're above yesterday's like opening price, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same, right? Like you're not getting the volume doing the market hours as you do sometimes pre-market or post-market. So let's see what happens here. But to me, this is a clear break in the downtrend. It'll probably do a double tap and then kind of go back up or maybe even roll over. But I don't know. I'm just going to watch for George's apex prints at this point in time. They've generally been pretty good. Yesterday was a chop fest of a day. If you survived, honestly, I think you were able to trade in any trading environment. There was a $2 range on SPY yesterday. So the highest was like 769. The lowest was 767. So like you had a $2 range on SPY. And I swear to God, like I saw so many people blow their portfolios on Twitter and X and Reddit. Like no side won yesterday. I'm surprised we even got any wins, to be honest. I'm looking at my recap from yesterday. It's like, okay, one loss trade, one scalp, 50%, 100%, 140%. And then finally this lot of played out like at the highest it was 10x, but I ended up selling most of these at like 143%, but I ended up working out either way. So if you did swing some micron calls, DRAM calls, whatever it might be, please just take the win and open. I'm not going to repeat that again because there's a high risk of rolling over in all scenarios that I've kind of written out in my head. So let's see where we open here in the next like 9 minutes. But I do want to buy all the pullbacks on Moderna. Maybe I'll take some weeklies because there's going to be a lot of short covering here as well. So I do think that there's a high risk that it just breaks out to like 150, 160, maybe even higher than that for the end of the week. Some of the other tickers that I'm watching, Palantir. To be honest, I think this will probably just continue bunking around here from like 170 to like 175. I was saying this yesterday on the chat or in the stream. It just keeps rejecting 175, 174. And the 4 hour, you're now making lower highs and lower lows. But I don't like how this is shaping up. So maybe this accumulates and then finally rips up. But I don't know what's going to happen. I do have a position in this for the 200 calls for the end of September. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. It wasn't that big of a position anyways. But it clearly broke this trend line that I'd drawn out here and where I thought we would make higher highs and higher lows. And we keep rejecting this area. So this is a watch for me. Maybe this is the time that we go to like 180, 181, whatever that is. But I want to see this finally break through 175 with like good volume. Right now, there's just no volume across the board. We've had like the first, second, and third lowest volume days on record in the last 10 years this past 2 weeks. So I'm not really expecting a whole lot. Please size lighter than normal because I don't know necessarily if we get the volume to support our thesis here of being able to buy these things. USO, it just keeps coming back down to like 130 and you buy calls and then you buy them for like the 133 area and it generally works. But this is making higher highs and higher lows. I do think that this will stay higher for longer. What I don't like is this accumulation pattern. So to me, this is a clear control bar. And we're just bonking around from the bottom of it to the top. And eventually it's going to either break out or break down. I don't know which way it's going to go. But I do think that there is some potential if you wanted to get some hedges. This is not a bad entry for some 133, 140 calls for end of next week, or maybe even the 133 calls or 135 calls for the end of this week if you wanted that. I did have these silver calls. They were down 90%. The 60 calls, they're going to be back up at open. But if 60s go in the money, I'm going to laugh my ass off because, that was a tough hold. I got them on, I think it was Monday. It's only Wednesday. That's crazy. I feel like 2 weeks have passed here because of the chop and lack of volatility and volume here. And then the 10-year, let's see, what's the ticker? How do I get to this? I can't remember what the shortcut was. Oh, slash. Okay. It's the slash. 10-year is selling off. 30-year is selling off because of the Fed announcement from this morning. So I really like that. That means high beta names like memory and storage will probably go higher. SK Hynix will probably go a little bit higher. There's a bit of a concern. One thing that happened here, I think they're buying $30 billion of their own stock, which isn't the most sustainable business model in my opinion. But the other thing that's happening in Korea right now is even if you are a whale and you have enough money to buy these leverage ETFs or even some of the commons for some of the Korean companies, they're making millions of people, or maybe in this case, hundreds of thousands of people, take 5-day paper trading courses. And if you don't succeed with those, you basically can't do anything. But you're right now, if you don't have enough funds, which is a lot of people, you're not able to buy. You can either only hold your existing assets or sell them. So my concern here is that they're just going to sell everything because if they're just not able to buy, they're just going to sell everything that they're holding. So let's see what happens there. But that is something to keep on your radar. So this will likely go a bit higher, but I do think there's a strong chance that SNDK, SK Hynix, Micron, DRAM, everything just rolls over. There's a high risk, so don't oversize here on whatever you do. But I want to see what the first 15 minutes look like. I think they'll pump it at open just off the bat. And we'll see where that ends up, through the course of the day. I do have to run at 1:30, so I won't be sharing any trades afterwards. I don't think I'll be able to do the lotto stream at 3:30, but I'll try to take some plays if I can. But overall, George has been pretty good at the MOC wicks. Yesterday, he called out the 76.95 puts. They went from $40 to $1,000. So, well done, George. Even if you got them under $1, you still got a 10x there. We ended up playing the same thing, but we took the lower strike at the 76.90s, and this ended up paying out really well as well. So just watch out for it. I just hope we get the volume today because we have not had it in 2 weeks at this point in time. And I did get these Micron 1040 calls, as I mentioned. There'll be a bit green at open. I'm not expecting much, to be honest. They were down 20%-ish by close. But I'm going to just sell it because I have these 1100 calls for next week and see where we end up through the course of the day. And if we get some volume, either upside or downside, I don't know which way we're going to go just yet. I'll either cut these or add to the calls, or I'll take some puts on Micron zero dated because it's Wednesday and we can play that pretty easily. But I do think the healthcare rotation is back on. I've been saying this for weeks at this point in time. So let's see what happens here. And JPM has just been a monster. It just respects levels so well. You'll see what I mean in a second. There you go. Comes to the lower ADR, bounces up, goes to the upper ADR, rejects. So you can play this pretty easily. Just buy calls here, buy puts there. And it's been a pretty easy trade. I don't post them often because they either move too fast or there's a lot of drawdown. Yesterday, I was trying to get these calls. They ended up going up 100% for the 366 calls, and then they ended up finally just nuking by the end of the day. So I want to see what happens, but if it closes above 363 here, then I think that's just going to short squeeze to 370 pretty quickly. There is FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. or 2:30. I can't remember exactly what the time is. Let me just go check before I forget. I think it's at 2:30. No, it's at 2 p.m. So there might be just a lot of chop until 2. That's one of my bigger worries, to be honest, is that they'll just chop us up and nothing will happen for an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it might be. So I'm just going to play the open. I'm just going to sit on whatever I have open otherwise, and then I'll see where I want to end up by 1:30. But I do think Tesla, if it closes above 338, it's going to squeeze to 345 pretty quickly. And if it doesn't, it's going to come back down to 330. So this is a bit of a weird range, and you're smack dab in the middle. So I don't know exactly what to do, but the first 15 minutes on Tesla are always fake. But I do think they're going to pump everything at open. I kind of hope they just don't roll over because I do have a lot of money in calls for the end of next week, especially with Micron. And then DRAM as a whole, I think will end up becoming pretty successful. And yeah, we'll just see where this goes at open. I'm not really in much of a rush to do anything. I just want to see what these Apex prints do. And if we get 40,000 lots, because we've only seen 800 lots, 900 lots, something like that, then I think we're in for some pain ahead. We either get thetaed out, even if our direction's right, or the volume isn't there to support our thesis. And the volume has not been there for the last 2 weeks. So Tesla top watch, and I am hoping that Meta just continues dumping because I want to short this again and again and again. It's kind of getting there already. It's starting to dump. That triple top pattern kind of played out. So let's see where this goes. But I think you can come back to 535, 530 really quickly on Meta. And below that, I think you're going to go to 480. There's really no support until then. So let's see what happens here. But any rallies on Meta, I'm going to just take some puts. And then Tesla, I just want to see what it does. Micron, we'll see how this opens. Maybe I'll play it at open. Maybe I'll get this 9 or 1,000 calls for zero dated options. They're pretty inexpensive at $1.35. We'll see where this goes though. And yeah, market opens in about a minute. So I want to sell as much as I can at open and see where it goes. And then I'll reevaluate after 15 minutes or whenever we get an Apex print there. Oh yeah, if anyone took Lazy Boy from Timmy, the shorts, they ended up paying up 800%. I'm going to sell these because last time I got assigned by accident, so I'm a proud owner of 200 shares of Lazy Boy. I'm going to sell both the shares and the puts that I got with Timmy. right here at open because I have zero interest in holding that position because I accidentally got it signed. All right, Micron. Oh, well, it was up 20%. Now it's up 0. So it is what it is. And we'll see where Tesla ends up. DRAM calls are up quite a bit. Micron calls are up quite a bit. Please just take the win, move on. And of course, he's going to say get calls because he always does that. I don't know if we'll get the volume to support the thesis, though. Let's see what the volume looks like. 2 million shares that open. Not bad. Not bad at all. IWM calls are up 88%. Oh, 92%. Nice. I'm just going to sell a couple and leave a couple runners. DRAM calls are up 61%. If anyone wanted to tail those, please just stick the win. IWM is up 92%. I got, how many runners do I have left? 6. There you go. 6 runners left. And I have 0 interest in doing much else because I'm just going to watch and see where we end up. I think they're going to squeeze it. So if you want to do some lot of calls, you probably can. The thing you want to get on SPX if you wanted to is going to be likely the 7740 calls or the 7760 calls at 2. But I want to watch the first 50 minutes and see where we end up more than anything else. And they are buying some puts. That is not ideal. That is not ideal for us. Hey, the DRAM 57s or 58s are almost in the money. Cool. I kind of want a lot of some Micron calls here, but it might be early. I really like the thousands at like $1.40, whatever it might be. $1.33. If you can get it at that, even better. Because I think it's going to run. I'm going to set it to $1.40, and I'm just going to get like 3 of these. And see where this ends up. Actually, maybe I'll set it lower, $1.30. And the volume has died. Look at that. Nothing has happened. Move 0 DTE, 1,000 calls at 136 per con lotto out here. I just don't like this low volume scenario. Hey, ended up, these Palantir calls ended up working out. PLTR. Nice. Good job, Sean. Tesla, I'm just going to watch the first like 5, 10, 15 minutes for fake on Tesla every single time. I don't like it. All right, these puts are dead. If you wanted a lot of some 345s on Tesla, you probably can. You can get them at like $90. That might be ideal. They're basically at break even for me, so let's see where that goes. The volume really died, didn't it? It really did. There's just no volume to these. Well, we got 40K lot there on 7770 puts. And the 7790s, weirdly enough. The thing I do like about Micron, it gives us multiple entries. So I just want to see if it holds at 946, then I'll add calls or take more calls. And if you got filled on Tesla at less than $1, you're up about 20%-ish. Let's see what Myrna's doing. It's going to pull back a little bit. That's cool with me. And Palantir, maybe this is the right... Oh, look at that. Oh, fucking right. If anyone took those 180 calls with me, you're up like 50-ish percentage. So this happens often. It's always the third try. I don't know why. It's always the third one. Didn't get above the first time. Didn't get above the second time. Third time's the charm every single time. I swear the algos are lazy as hell. They just say, we're gonna do it on third try. Why not? Rule of threes every single time. Okay, there's 75% on the Palantir 180 calls if you took them with us. Oh fuck, Micron's not gonna hold. All right, we'll see where it goes. All right, calls are coming in. That's kind of nice. Oh, it's also expiration position. Right, forgot about that. So we might see a rally on the VIX. Let's go see what that's doing, because nothing's happening here. Yep. Okay, that's neat. And what you want to do is watch IWM on 2 minutes to see what this will do. This is stuck in orb. Oh no, they're selling it right now. Not a lot of volume though, 971 mil, that's nothing. Compared to the usual 40 billion that we see. Just gonna watch Micron for a second entry here. Maybe I'll get something closer to in the money or at the money. I think all the memory names are getting nuked right now. Yep. SK High, probably getting nuked. Oh, actually, it's doing pretty well, surprisingly. DRAM's probably getting nuked at the same time. Yep. This is why we sell it open. Let's see what the hell's Tesla gonna do. No, there's just no volume. I don't think it's worth doing anything, to be honest. Let's see what the dealer exposure looks like. I don't think there's anything there. 20 calls, 50 calls, 75 calls. More puts, or decent chunk of puts, though. Some idiot has bought these 8, 19, 77, 20 calls. Oh, damn. George was right on this one. Fucking right, bud. Let me just see what they're doing on the put side. I'm just going to watch the at the money puts. They're basing. Not a lot of volume, though. Yeah, 7,700s or $600. Wow, those are expensive. Hey, maybe we do 76.90 once again. Nah, I think they're going to buy it up soon. Just watch. Just watch. Everything's basing here, so I think they'll pump this up soon. But he was right on these 7,700 put lottos. That kind of worked out. I'm still gonna watch until 9:45. I just want to see what the first 15-minute candle looks like. I really don't like buying puts. Whenever I do, they go to zero. But if you want to play downside, you can get SPY puts or IWM puts because they're pretty cheap. Oh, I got the 766. They're probably gonna die. I'm just gonna watch till 9:45 anyways, because I think they'll reverse it up. I kind of like Tesla calls here. Let's see, the 345s are $60. Yeah, let's get like 4 of these at 57 if it fills. And I don't think it will, so I'm gonna get them at 60 if it fills. How about that? There's a move up on IWM, so I think it's going to fly. I just want to see what Micron does in the next 15 minutes. Tesla 345Cs, Lotto at 60 per con right here. Gonna cut if we lose 338 on Tesla. And I want to see what Myrna's doing, because I think it'll start pumping. It's already gone. We got plenty of day left. Don't gotta rush into anything. Did George have a max conviction? Oh yeah, he did on Rut. I don't know why they're buying the calls though. That's the thing that worries me right now. Is they're buying more calls than anything else. Hey, but on the flip side, if you want a short entry, you have one here. Okay, there's 10% on Tesla calls. If you want to take the win, please do. There's 11. Ah, look at that. Short is off. Good job, buddy. Here you go. There's 20% on Tesla calls. Take the win. This 23, 25. Nice, not bad. And this actually might be a decent Myrna call entry. Hold on, let me just check what that is like. Dump, bump, 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 bump. Oh, no. No, there's nothing. They don't even have options up there. Fucking A. Okay, never mind. We can't do much. Calm as it is. There's 31, 35% on Tesla calls. Please just take the win. I'm tired of repeating myself. There's 40, 41, 30. And it's going to reverse up at 9:45, the usual classic shake out retail and then rip. There's 45 on Tesla calls, 46. Can we go higher? Probably. There's 55. Why did I do this to myself? I don't know why I chose to become a trader. Makes 0 sense. And what is going on with these wicks? And if you wanted a call entry on SPX, you got one here. You can get the 7760s for $1.50-ish, 60-ish. Even the 75, 7750s. But you are green, so watching position. What are you watching, dude? 770 calls coming in. That's nice. ABGO calls are coming in. That's what I thought. High beta names will kind of run. ABGO. There you go. There's a start of a reversal at least. Oh, no, Tesla rejected. That's not ideal. Watching position. Yeah, they're buying the calls. I just want to see if I can get these cheaper. The 7750s at 260 or 50-ish. Maybe I'll do this. I'll get 2 at 240 if it fills. If it doesn't, then I have zero interest in it. I think it will, but I can't tell. Oh, filled. All right. Let's see where it goes. Watching position. I'll cut the calls if we start closing below 7710 SPX. Let me go to the real chart here. This anchored VWAP, we just haven't been able to get up above for quite some time. And any win is a win. Even if it's like 10, 20%, just take the win. We're in such low volume that there's just no point in doing much. At least been doing well. That's insane. Amazon put entry. Probably. Yeah, I can see this going back to like 256 pretty easily. But I can also see it going back up to 265. So it's kind of in the middle of this. Oh, fuck. We're going to down these calls. Okay, I'm cutting them. Got SPX calls that here. 20% L. Watching position. That's what I get for fading George, unfortunately. Wow, look at that bar on Tesla. That's insane. I at least got 55% on those. Oh yeah, they're gonna sell it all. All right, that's cool with me. I got puts anyways. Well, they probably die, but I do have them. The thing that's bothering me right now is like the volume isn't there. Like I'm looking at these puts right now on the 7700s. Oh no, there it goes. Finally catching some bids. Okay. Let's see what we want to do here. Yo, if my puts come back, that'd be hilarious. Nope, just gonna get stuck in orb again. I just want to see how this behaves. Because this is going back up. I don't like that.
All right, I have to go now.
Take it easy, Timmy.
Abs, please yell at me if you see me on here today. All right. Have a wonderful
Watching
day, folks.
position. Take it easy. 77.05 puts are real expensive. If you want, you can get the... Nah, I don't think it's worth it. The 580s are up like 100%. 200%. Damn. If you want to do puts, get them on IWM or SPY. Because they're still pretty inexpensive. The 766 puts on SPY will set you back about $68. Well, now 70. I want to watch for a retest and then I'll get some puts. Let it come back up a little bit and then we'll get some puts. I'm switching for the 10 a.m. candle. Let's see what that does. Because if I'm playing downside, I want to get it as cheap as possible. That's the thing I like about these morning plays. You always get like a second, third, fourth entry. Damn, the volume really isn't there, is it? That's annoying. Okay. So what I do, I want to play some SPY puts instead. 768 watching position. Oops. At 57 per con. Oops. 55 per con. Not seeing volume either side, but trying to watching position. If it rips up here, I'm going to be pissed. Watching position. I don't think it will. Although the volume's pretty good there. We're just stuck in orb. Day number 7 of being stuck in orb. There you go. Here's your opening range breakout. We're right in the middle of it. No side is winning. What got these 7750s at? 240. How much are they worth right now? 200. Oh, they're back at break even. What the fuck? Oh no, they're back down. All right, here comes the buys. I don't want to buy this again. I really don't. Why are these premiums holding? Why is that? Why do I like it? And there it goes. Sure, just held my original thesis. And after all, what's green on those calls? Fucking A. Should have just held them. Oh well. Why is Tesla not doing anything? Why is IWM doing that? I just don't get it. What the hell is USO doing at the same time? Oh, that's why it's pumping. Okay. That is a crazy wick, though. That is crazy. You don't often see that. Moderna's just gonna fly. If you got that open, you're up like $20 on those commons. No, we're just gonna chop that open. Okay, well, F. All right, if nothing happens at 10 a.m., I'm just gonna call it and wait till like 1:30 or something. These premiums aren't really going anywhere. If it holds here, I might get them again, but we're back in orb. I don't like this. They're just going to accumulate all day again. Fudge. That is not ideal. That is definitely not ideal. Tesla's doing fuck all. ABGO's doing fuck all. What's Palantir doing? They're rejected, came back down. Nice. That's on a bad entry on calls. Micron just swept the lower ADR, so they might just rip up here. Just watch for it. I kind of like the 960s here. I don't know why, but I want to see what it does. Watching position. What I don't like is IWM is just doing this, making lower highs and lower lows. But just draw a trend line from the top of this wick, you can kind of see what I mean. But even if you do it on the body, which is what I usually do, this is just making lower highs and lower lows. And you have a bit of a channel going on here. On a 2 minute. We're just going to rip. Let's see if Meta's selling off. It probably is. Oh, actually, it's a pretty good short entry. Hold on. Let me get some Meta puts. The 535s are pretty cheap, but same with the 540s. They're only $100. I might get a couple of those. If Micron doesn't bounce here, they're just going to sell everything. Just a heads up. Yeah, it's going to dump here. Okay. Let's see how my SPY puts are doing. Probably not that well. Oh, what the fuck? That's on SPY. That's Tesla. I wonder what EWY is doing on all this. Yeah, selling off. Probably the same with Koru. Fuck, we're stuck in the orb again. Alright, I'm gonna call it. I don't think anything's gonna happen. It's not a bad call entry on Micron if it holds. Same with SPX. My only concern right now is we're just stuck in orb. There's no movement here at all. So I don't think anything's going to happen until 2 p.m. We'll see where it goes. If you want to play Micron, this is a decent call entry. So you can get like the 960s or even the 950s at $1 and then see what happens. Here, I'll just get 2 of these at 180 if I can. 180, 178 maybe, if it fills. Oh, fudge. If it doesn't hold, then it doesn't hold. But I do think you're going to shape up for a small squeeze in the next like 15 minutes, and we'll see where that goes. And I will leave it at that and enjoy the day. I don't think anything's going to happen until 2, to be honest, and whatever these FOMC minutes are.